right, well, let's do this. All right, everybody. I think we're live. Let's see. What is this saying here? Let's try this. Edit. Okay, take that one down. Move. All right. It says that we are live. Trying to see if it's showing up here on my phone. Maybe it will. Hey, if you can hear us. Oh, look, we got some people joining. So awesome. Thanks, everybody. So this is a call it a live Q&A. Just have a great conversation. You can hold that mic up a little bit. There you go. Yeah. So this is let's see, what do we got here? One of the we got one of the best in the biz. Me. No. It's we got Brad Greenland here. He is in studio here in lovely West Jordan, Utah, which I've heard is the best Jordan. And Brad, I thought maybe you could do a quick introduction on who you are and how long have you been an official. But what we really want to be able to do is go through and answer questions that you have. I got one from my IG story earlier, so we'll be answering some questions and just kind of generally talking through some stuff. Why don't you do a quick introduction?
Okay. Brad Greenland, born and raised in Utah, grew up playing ball. I am the current Salt Lake chapter president for basketball officials here in the state of Utah in the Wasatch Front. Refereeing, probably 12 years now. High school, like legit. And just ended my, this is in my 4th season for women's college basketball. At the JUCO level, 3rd season, NAIA and Division II. So it's a growing process. But yeah, man, I enjoy it. At first I was like, yeah, no, this ain't for me. I just want to play ball all my life. But actually, it's kind of crazy because, I did try the coaching route as well. But man, when it's a bug you catch. It's refereeing because it's, like we talked about offline is, the big thing why I do it is I feel engaged in the game as a player, but now I'm a referee. Similar situations, quick second thinking. Now it's just, rather than am I going to drive, dribble, or shoot? It's now play on, violation, or foul.
Right.
In that quick second, right? And so sometimes we have the luxury of having a delayed whistle, but most times, you've got to be ready to think on the fly and go with it. So
sweet. Yeah, it's I'm excited. We did this last year. We had some more interactive video and stuff, but we're not able to get that up and going. I was running way late, so I got stuck. Utah County. Everyone tap in if you're in Utah County. But I was stuck in some traffic on I-15 coming back up here, so couldn't quite get all of that kind of teed up. But it's exciting for me because the officials are such a massive part of the game. And just like players, I think there are degrees of and levels of officiating, right? I mean, there are professional NBA officials and there are collegiate officials, and you're a collegiate official. Only is it women's? Is that
yes.
Okay?
Yep. So and I can go into more of that. There was a time when we could be able to do men's and women's college basketball, but it's crazy now how the game has evolved that we actually have high school rules, men's college rules, women's college rules, and NBA rules.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all different in their own way. Something you're going to call in high school is going to be different in women's college versus men's college versus the NBA. The biggest one we always talk about because we watch so much NBA, and that's kind of the mantra, right? Is we want to be at that level, right? Some of those misconceptions are, well, this should be that. Well, it is there because their rule is different,
right,
than where we're at in high school,
right?
So,
and that would be, I think like I mean, there's like, what is it? There's like a gather step. There's different things in the
Yes.
NBA that I know that you'll see a highlight, and this goes for both players and parents. And I hope that there's both players and parents on here as well. You'll see a highlight, and then you'll go do that thing, and then you'll get called for, in this case, a travel. And then the parents and the players are like, "That's not a travel." It's like, well, at that level,
Right.
it is not. It was correctly officiated, and at this level, it is also correctly officiated.
Correct. So the NBA does have what they call as a zero step. So they have that first step, the zero step, to gather the ball, and then they can, then they have the normal, what you want to call the 3 steps till it's an actual travel. So
Oh no, I think I just disconnected the camera. Hang on, hold please. Camera's coming back. I was trying to move this closer to us, and I ended up disconnecting the camera. Hang on, everybody. Hang on, we're almost there. Start camera. And wait. Wait for it. And okay, we're back. My fault. I couldn't read the screen. People started commenting.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see what they were saying because I'm like kind of blind. So apologies for that, everybody. We had a little break, but we're back here. Okay, so like the zero step in the NBA, but that's not allowed in.
Right.
Okay.
So the biggest one right now is the hardened step back, right? High school rules that's going to be a travel.
Because he utilizes the zero step.
Yep, because his first step is that one to gather the ball, and then it's the 1-2 hop, right? But as soon as you pick that ball up, we don't have that zero step that he's utilizing. So as soon as you pick it up there and hop 2, you've taken your pivot foot and left the ground and then put it back to the ground.
Interesting. Yeah. So does that also apply? Like I was watching a game last night, and there was a sorry, parents, but sometimes you can be the worst. And I'm a parent. But there was a kid went in, came to a jump stop, right? Shot fake, and then stepped through and made the layup. And there was a parent just screaming like, "Travel! That's a travel!" And I'm like, I don't think, because he never established a pivot foot, right? He jump stopped, didn't move either foot, shot fake, stepped through, went off one foot for a layup.
So it depends.
Okay, tell me about it.
So if he came,
was the parent right? I guess you don't know because you didn't see the video.
If it was a pass and he caught the ball in the air, came to a jump
step. It was on a dribble.
If it was on a dribble, if it's on a dribble, once you pick that dribble up and you land, you cannot take another step. So they have to land. Well, sorry, I take that back. If they land simultaneously,
yes, which is what happened,
they can take it one step. If they land pitter patter,
then they're done. Yeah. So the jump stop, simultaneous, shot fake, step with one, go off that 1 foot for a layup is what happened. And I was like, that's not a travel. Is that, I didn't say anything, by the way. I kept my mouth shut.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's tricky because with where we're at, it depends on those couple things, right? Is it a dribble jump stop, or is it a pass jump stop? If you've ended your dribble and you come to a jump stop, you technically got to go up.
Okay.
But it also could be, if he or she picks the ball up and takes a step and then comes to a jump stop, now they're stuck.
Okay.
But if it's a dribble, jump stop, they got that one to go up.
We got one question here. I'm going to try to read it. Brad, I'm a 7th-year official. What separates the best officials from the rest is what A Maurer 888 asks.
Okay. You're going to get what you put back into it. I will tell you right now, for me to be at the level that I am, the last 5 years. So officiating, we also are continuous learning. Each summer, whether y'all know it or not, when you go to these team camps, things like that, those officials you usually see, some of them are at a camp. Some of them are not. Some of them are just paid to get there or paid to do the games. Over the last probably 5-6 years, I have averaged 4 camps a season.
Okay.
4 camps in an off season. Where I'm at now is, this last year, going to summer camp and continuously learning is key. But you also have to have the it factor. You know what I mean? That I can tell you right now, if you go to a hiring camp, they're going to look at you, and if you're overweight, you're not being looked at.
Because how much do you run in a game? Average
About 3 to 5 miles.
3 to 5 miles per game. These guys are running, and gals. I mean, both humans, official humans are running 3 to 5 miles for a high school game.
Yep.
In what, an hour and a half?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
well, and you look at that. It's not even like we look at marathons, right? It's the continuous. No, it's a sprint, stop, sprint, stop.
You're a player.
Stop. Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
pretty much. So what separates it is how much you put back into it. I would say get a mentor. If you're 7th year official, get a mentor, break down film. Man, after every single game, I had to go on Apple and up my terabytes or whatever because I got so much game film on there. If you're not looking at your game film as a student of the game with a mentor, then you might not make that flip.
It sounds so much. We've got a couple other questions, but it does sound so much like, honestly, like playing. I mean, it really is just like you have to train, you have to watch film, you have to have coaches, you have to go to camp, and we were talking about this that there are so much there's so much opportunities within officiating for players. And so I'll just kind of say this, if there's players watching or parents of players, you're in high school, there are opportunities for you to start staying connected to the game in a very physical and you are impacting the game. You are on the court, you're making decisions, you're part of that game, whether it's junior high, maybe it's junior jazz, but you can then grow in. There are it's a profession. I mean, there are full-on career officials who work insanely hard not to be the NBA player, but to be the NBA official, not to be the D1 player, but to be the D1 official.
Right.
And it's cool that because you had said that, and honestly, I had never even had that perspective that like, this is a lot more similar to playing than coaching, certainly than podcasting and creating content is. I'll tell you that much. It's nothing like playing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just wanted to kind of put that out there. Let's ask a question here, and I'm going to try to pull up a graphic because my buddy Brendan, who takes some awesome photos, you can follow him. It's at Brendan T Win NGUYEN. He said, "Do refs have sections or zones that they cover? Why does a ref from the side or top call a foul that occurs under the basket?" And this drives people crazy. You know it because you hear like,
it's not your area.
Yeah, you hear that all the time where it's like, how can you see that, or how can you make that call? What's funny though is it's usually coming from a fan, we'll say a dad, sitting in the opposite corner of the gym, saying, "How can you call that?" And I'm like, well, you don't have a vantage point, that's for sure. Like, you have no idea if it was a foul or not. You're not even trained, right? So,
well, and I will say to this, to somewhat give the benefit of the doubt to the parents, is y'all have the best seat in the house because you're up. And I mean, you think about it. We look at our film, when we watch film, it's from that angle, it's from above. So we may have missed it, but you got to realize we're trying to look through people possibly. So I mean, we do have areas of coverage. Basically,
I'll pull this up. It's a little bit small, so I apologize to everybody. But can I zoom in on that? I don't even know if I can zoom in here. That just makes the screen bigger. Maybe this. What does that do? No, that doesn't help at all. Let's go back. I guess that's okay. Sorry, we're like live producing this thing. So if you can zoom in on your own little screen, and I'll post this up on Instagram here afterwards. But So we have sort of the breakdown. So you've got the green and the yellow, go Rams. It's Colorado State colors. I appreciate that. So we've got green and gold. And so this is kind of like a 3-person officiating crew, right?
Okay. Yep.
Is that what we have going on?
So that is a three-person crew right there.
Okay.
The yellow is going to be your center official. The green is your trail official. And then the blue is your lead official. Okay. So right now you can't really see it. I was looking at it and I sent it. So I kind of have a heads up. So
yeah,
the ball is on the wing right now, the lower wing so it's in the green. So basically this is Trail's play. Trail has the ball. Lead would be in. So lead will be watching the post.
Here, watch this. I'll try to hold this up to the. Is this gonna work? Maybe. Is that gonna be better? Let's try this. I'm gonna go. This is like the most untech way to do this, but okay, let's try that.
Okay, so right now on the bottom of your screen, bottom right, is you've got the player with the ball. So essentially, the lead official that's down there in the blue on the end line, he's got that post matchup. Okay, now center, clear across court, he's got basically everything on that side. But what we teach is, oh, that's a nice one right there.
Yeah, there we go. I'll try to hold my hand steady.
Yeah, what we're teaching is right now he's looking at the next matchup that's going to hurt him from that backside because, if we have a pass into the post, lead has that post matchup, but center's got to be ready to have that help side defender that's coming across to possibly take that charge. Because if he's not there in time, then we have a block foul, right? And if it comes back up to the top by the trail official, that's who has it. What I will say, going back to,
can I sit back down or?
Yeah, you're good.
All right.
What I will say is going back to the actual the question of, hey, why is an official calling it from that trail or that center? We're taught mechanically on an obvious foul, anybody can call it. Okay. The other thing too is it's all about, as much as we all didn't like math, right? It's all about angles. So if that post player rolls away from me, I might not see that contact where the center official from across the court, it's curling to him. So he sees that contact. So it's really a trust process that, yes, we work on our primary coverage areas, but it's also, we look through those primary coverage areas to help out. Because as a lead official on a post play, I'm looking for contact where my outside gut partners are looking for traveling. So that's why sometimes we miss a travel because, we might not see it or we get surprised by it, things like that. So there are mistakes, but that's why if you're wanting to get to that next level, film breakdown is so key.
Right, because you can see your own mistakes.
Yep.
And learn from them and become better. And that's interesting.
Well, and it's also, we look at where our positioning is at. Oh man, if I would have taken a step down, I would have been able to see that.
Oh, right.
Taken a step up, I would have seen that. The goal for us mechanically is to where we don't get straight lined, where we're looking at backs. We want to see we want to see that gap between the defender and the offensive player. So if we're straight lined, that means we need to either move up or move down.
Okay, so I had another question that came in. This one was and please drop questions in the comments. I can sort of see them. I'm doing my best over here. So I got this question. If no team is on one side of the court pre-game, can your team use both sides of the court? Is there a rule?
There is. If the officials are out, you need to stay on your designated area side.
And you can't dunk.
Correct.
Which is, can we change that rule? Is that feels like such an outdated rule?
It is outdated. It's really for safety, they say, but I think going into it, it's somebody dunks it and breaks the backboard. Now, where are we going to play? Because not everywhere in the country has an auxiliary gym.
That's fair.
So
All right, fine. We can keep it. I won't. That's not a hill I'm going to die on here.
But if you've got 25 minutes on the clock, the officials come out at 15 minutes. That's our time to be out on the court.
Oh yeah, you can dunk away. Yeah.
But as soon as we come out, and that's the other thing too, is game management, right? When I'm coming out, and a lot of the veteran officials, varsity officials, things like that, coming up, it's like we come out and we're like, hey, we're out here, stay off the rim.
Yeah. You're not trying to catch. You're not trying to catch them like, hey, let's sneak out and see if a kid dunks so we can tee him up.
We do not. I will tell you, officials do not want to start a game with a technical foul. So please do not force us to make that decision.
Yeah, no, it's I was in Phoenix, and it was like a nationally televised game, and they came out and they said each team will be starting with one team foul because they were both dunking, and I'm like, there are NBA prospects on the court here. Like, why are we apparently it's a rule in Arizona. I wasn't quite sure. So.
Well, and it's not even just state. It's NFHS, so it's National Federation of High School.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Oh, did not know that.
My book's a little rough.
You brought your rule book.
So there it is. It's in the rule book.
Okay, and there's a national one, and then there's obviously state by state rules. Like we have a shot clock. Yes. Other states don't have a shot clock. Yes. So
one of the differences with or without the shot clock, it's really violation wise. So you will now not see us visibly count the 10-second in the backcourt unless the shot clock is off. Otherwise, we're using shot clock.
Oh, I have a question about that.
Yeah.
I've seen this kind of a bit of a mix where officials are counting for 5 seconds and others will not. Did that rule change that because of the shot clock, there's no longer 5 second calls?
If they're dribbling. So that is one of those state adopted because of the shot clock.
So you could dribble for 32 seconds and then take a shot?
Yes.
Which some kids, I know you want to, and you try, and it's terrible.
So now in the state of Utah, it is, if it's a held ball and you're within 6 feet closely guarding, that's what
then the count starts.
Yep. Then the count starts.
Okay. Got it. And then after, so count starts 4 seconds. You start dribbling. You can dribble till you steal it. The ball gets stolen from you, or you turn it over, or you just, and then if you pick it back up, it starts again. Okay.
If they're closely guarded.
You're right. Yep. Okay. We do have a question that I know people are dying to wonder. Why are you guys against LCA in all sports? I asked that kind of there, but we'll just say, like, there is a perception by almost every single school that the refs are out to get us, right? It's like it's like you're the cops and you're trying to, like, you're always against us. You're always, you see what you want to see. You don't call this, you call that. I happen to think that because I've gotten to know yourself, I try to say thank you to the officials, even as a fan. If they walk by, I say, hey, thanks so much for coming out here. I know that you guys are all human, but I also know that nobody's going into that game thinking, I cannot wait. Like, I hated the LCA Eagles back in the day, and I cannot wait to whistle them for 15 foul calls to 0, and I'm going to keep track. Like, I don't think that I can't imagine anyone's going to a game like that. If they were, they should be fired, by the way.
Right. No. And yeah, that is that perception out there. I will tell you that each team, so we have a pregame meeting. We've got to be on site an hour before, and we're pregaming probably 30, 40 minutes before we're actually going out on the court. So as far as being against anybody, it's not necessarily that. It's we're dealing with humans with judgment.
Yeah.
Like they might see something that we don't, we don't, I don't know. I don't have an answer to that, but I will say for me, I go into a game that, some of us go into the game. I don't want to know about them. I want to know their tendencies, who's on them, what their record is, things like that. But then we have others where it's like, hey, we know that LCA is going to compete tonight. you know, and I don't know. I haven't had them this year, so I don't know how they are this year.
They're very good at basketball.
But and historically, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're actually independent now. They're UHSAA independent. They're not 4A.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. But I will say that there is a lot of detail that goes into a pregame as far as coach tendencies. Hey, I've had them in the past. Hey, have you had so on the LCA or I mean West Jordan? I don't care who it is. It's have you had them yet this year, Adam?
Right.
No? Okay. Well, looking at their stats, you know what I mean? It's kind of a not necessarily we're out to get you, where sometimes it may feel that way because if how do I want to say if the temperature rises, sometimes some get flustered, right?
Yeah.
Because it could be some of that inexperience. It could be, you know, hey, I haven't had this situation, so I'm not sure how to handle it. So we would rather be right than guess.
Yeah. We got some more questions, by the way.
Okay. So yeah, I would rather if I don't know on a call, I am not going to guess.
I love that. And I think that's why, you know, at the very start of this, it was I forget who it was, probably your wife. Somebody said like, Brad's the best. Because I actually like when there's when it's like objectively, and I don't mean that there aren't like bang bang plays or whatever. And I've got a question about the new flopping calls because I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what that is. So we can maybe get into that. But let's get some questions here. We've got Brendan. He says, I'm gonna scoot up here closer because my screen's. How do refs set the standards of the atmosphere? Some refs kick out fans and parents during the game. Some people would say the refs should worry about the game rather than what the fans and parents say. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of talking about that a little bit, right? But
yeah. So I think it comes to really sportsmanship. And I know that we all have, you know, as officials, we don't have a dog in the race where parents do. Players are amped up, they're excited, you know what I mean? But you got to do your work early. You know, if you've got a player, you know, starting to ramp up, that's where hey, 23, I hear you. Stay with me, stay in the game. I'll keep an eye on it. I'll watch for it, right? Same with coaches. You got to have that coach communication, and that's something that early on in my career, I sucked. I'll be straight, honest, and vulnerable. But through the course of years and professional development with myself, it's like because I knew that's
and your mentor, right?
Yeah, and my mentors, like that was the key thing that I had to work on to get to that next level. But I think that overall, if it takes away from the atmosphere of the game of, hey, we're out here all playing a game, we're all trying to do our best. Some officials, you know, that they're still learning that game management aspect. So it could be that I hear that and that's now my focus, and then they're going to deal with it within the rules by a technical foul or throwing them out because it has crossed their threshold.
Okay.
What they want to allow.
Got it. Got some players joined. That's always fun. I got a question here. If the team that has the ball is close to the 10-second violation, they call timeout before the 10 backcourt is called. Do they get additional time to cross half court after the timeout? That was a great question.
Yes.
Okay. So you get to 9 seconds. You're trapped. Coach calls timeout. You got another 10 seconds to get it over.
Correct.
Which is that not the case at every level?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. High school level, you get a new 10.
I think in the NBA they have 8 seconds and that's it.
Yep.
You can't call timeout and get it reset.
Correct.
Do you remember when I only remember this because it was in the bubble and it was a critical game in the playoffs and the Jazz were playing the Nuggets, the 2023 NBA champion Denver Nuggets, and Donovan walked the ball up and didn't cross over at 16, just kept walking, and all of a sudden looked at the clock and tried to make it, and he got it was like in the fourth quarter.
I remember that.
Whew, that was crazy.
Well, and the other thing, if you want to stay on the backcourt stuff, it's where the ball or the player was last at that 10-second mark. So if you're at what high school is 35 seconds, so if you're at say 26 seconds and you're trying to throw the ball in the air, if that ball is not caught,
Oh,
by that
by the
25
25
seconds.
seconds.
So if say
Oh, I didn't know that.
we throw the ball, I throw the ball.
Pay attention to this, everybody. This is a rule that I did not know of. So
I'm in the backcourt.
yep.
We've got 26 seconds, and I throw the ball to you, Adam, at the top of the key.
I thought I was guarding you because I'm going full court man. We're
Okay.
freshmen. Yeah. No, I know.
All right. Who's behind you? So player B behind you. If he doesn't catch it, if another offensive person doesn't catch it by that 25 seconds, well, before really, because at that 25, if the ball is still in there, that is technically a 10-second violation.
What if they shoot it and it goes in? That would be a very obscure thing, but you're falling out of bounds and you chuck it and it hits the rim.
Then depend on who gets the rebound, you get a new shot clock.
So it wouldn't,
because it hit the rim, right? Because if it's, a try for goal.
This is a fun, gotcha moment.
A throw, yeah, no, this is good. A throw, or as the rule says, a throw or try for goal. If it hits the rim, you reset the shot clock.
Right. So, but it wouldn't be a 10-second violation if I'm at 26 seconds and I shoot it from beyond half court and it goes in and there's 24 seconds left on the shot clock. That's a good basket.
If you're shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's not a pass, right? Because I got 10 seconds to get across, but
got it. Okay.
It's one of those.
That's never going to happen.
Yeah.
It's a weird one.
That's a unicorn.
Yeah.
Right there. So,
that's cool. So, what was the other question I had on? Oh, over and back. I see a lot of parents they'll get kind of flustered. Even coaches will get flustered with this. And I have if you're like this amount of officiating experience, I'm like down to here. But if I recall, it is ball and both feet cross.
Yes.
And then if any one of those three touches the line, that's over and back.
Touches the line or goes
beyond the line.
Yep.
But if I'm dribbling and I've got 1 foot back behind the line, I get 2 feet over and then I pull the ball back. Or if I got 1 foot over in the ball, I take a dribble and I pull it back, but this left foot has never crossed the line. And that actually happens more often than I think people realize. And people start screaming like, hey, it's over and back. And I'm like, I don't think it is, right? But because all 3 parts have to go over.
Yes.
Okay.
All 3 have crossed, 1 back.
Okay.
So basically all 3 have to cross to have established front court status. So you could sit there and straddle the half court line and do the figure 8 until that other leg
can do the pistol Pete dribble.
Yeah. But until you have all 3, you have not established legal guarding position.
But you only
front court status.
You only have 10 seconds though to get over it.
Yes. So, not too many drills back there.
No. You're not gonna do too many. Okay. So my last question. Listen, we're coming up here on the end, but if you have questions, please drop them in. We're here to help you guys out, and then I want to give you a chance to kind of petition some people to even get involved in either officiating at whatever the level is. But so if you have some questions, please drop them in the comments, and Brad will be happy to answer them. So the flopping call, is this new this year?
Yes. And I'm sure you can tell we're all feeling it.
Okay. So what is it?
So,
because I can't, so I'll give you an example. So last night, there was a flopping call that was called. So a kid goes in the paint, goes up for the shot. Somebody slides in to try to take a charge. They fall over. Kid makes the shot. Ref blows the whistle, and we're like, "What did he call?" And he just says, "Flop." And we were like, "Oh, so it's like flop warning." Second half, literally the exact same play. Like it was just like actually the same 2 kids. Same kid goes in, goes around him, goes up for a layup. The kid falls over. There's obviously nothing called.
Okay.
And it was like, well, this is the same. Like, what was the reason for not calling that a flop? Right. So of course people make mistakes. I'm not here to like out anybody, but it just seems like, a kid shoots a 3 and falls down. Sometimes it's flop. Sometimes just like, okay, they were trying to, they thought they got fouled or whatever it is.
So I will stop you. That's what it is intended for. And in high school, it's actually like faking being fouled. So it's any time that a player is trying to fool a ref into a foul.
So if a kid is trying to draw a charge, right, and he's kind of leaning back and the kid comes in and maybe he Euro steps him and he kind of clips his shoulder a little bit, and the kid kind of falls, accentuates it. I know it's hard to play the like what if game, but that's because to me I could see like kids are trained to try to take charges. He's already kind of leaning back. He's probably not trying to convince the official.
Right.
He's just trying to take a charge, and he didn't, and he fell over. So I actually thought I didn't think that either one was actually a flop.
Okay.
Just because I thought the kid was trying to draw a charge. He didn't do it, but he was already kind of going backwards like kids are going to do because they're trying to absorb the contact.
Right.
So it's good to know that, I don't know, that's kind of the.
Yeah. And it's with it being the first year, I would just ask for some grace.
Yeah.
Because my goodness, it is tough, because even when the women's college basketball introduced it, I mean, same thing. We were just flops all over the place. Right. And then as we progressed, we're now at a better point to where, okay, is there contact? Because, or is there not? Are they falling before contact, or is there contact to the player, right? Because I bet you if before we had the flop call, that would have been a block charge, right?
Yep.
Or a no call.
Or just a no call. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of some growing pains, but literally what it is, trying to minimize the amount of faking being fouled or trying to fool the ref into a foul.
Okay.
And one of the reasons why they came out with it this year is because it's a less, believe it or not, it's a lesser consequence, and they want us to call it because years past before this year, as some of y'all have known because you wanted it, a flop was a technical foul.
Oh, okay. So this is the flop warning.
So now the NFHS is wanting us to start calling the flop when, there's no contact, like, you're guarding me and you just fall as I drive by you. That's a flop, right?
Or I got put on skates and I fell over.
So we're all still trying to figure out what it is. And I will say, for the parents, the players, and all that, just, give us some grace. We have had multiple trainings this year on this topic. Videos have gone out to officials to try to continue to get us better on this.
Yeah.
Because it's all new to all of us. So.
Got it. Yeah. So with that, so is it a warning for the team? So like if the team gets their second, so it's not per player. So not like every player can be like, you haven't got a flop warning. Get in there, buddy. Yeah. That's not how it works.
No, it's a team. It's a team warning and then a team technical.
Okay. Got it. Well, I don't see any more questions here. Yeah, we got the backcourt one. So let's wrap it up. I appreciate people jumping in here. I know people are kind of in and out of these Instagram lives. I'll put out this whole video on YouTube. So if you want to go back and you want to, hey, I remember he was saying something about this or whatever it is, you can get the full thing. It's not just going to be living in one place. But how do maybe there's a player who has just recently graduated from high school. Maybe they're in high school and they kind of want to be involved in officiating, or at least learn about it.
Right.
Are there ways for kids to get involved in officiating now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you want to go the high school route, you can, all that information's on the UHSAA website. You just go under officials and then, basketball, football, whatever you want to be. But also if you go on that same page, it'll give you the chapter presidents. So my information's on there. You can reach out via email, things like that, because there's things in the off season. I've got some connections to, if you want to start in the AAU ranks and just kind of get a taste of it on a Saturday.
But how funny was that video I posted though?
Oh,
the AAU refs versus high school refs. There's a little bit of truth to that.
I love our officials, but I'm very careful with my selection.
I know.
of what I officiate, because it is hard, right? Yeah. And going back to our 7th year official, doing 10 games a day is not doing anybody good. I mean,
And it happens all. You just said you ran. If you're going to properly officiate a game and you're going to run 3 to 5 miles, are you equipped to run 30 to 50 miles in a day?
Yeah.
You're not. So you're just gonna you're gonna not do it with full effort. Yeah. Okay, so they can go to the website. They can look up information. I'm sure if you want to, even officiate, like here we've got like the Gene Fulmer Rec Center. I'm sure there's ways to go do that. It's a great way to earn some extra income, for both students and adults. It's a way to stay close to the game, stay in shape, to stay abreast of the rules and the rule changes that are going on. So, want to encourage everyone to go do that. Brad, thank you again, year 2, for coming here
absolutely.
to the Peak Studios in West Jordan. Thanks everyone for joining in. You can go subscribe at utahbasketball.net if you want to hear all the podcasts I've been doing, all of my terrible attempts at power rankings. I'm just the worst at picking. I'm so bad, but I'm doing my best. So just like the flop call, give me some grace when I flop on my power rankings. I would appreciate it.
There you go.
Thank you.
Well said.
Thanks everybody. Appreciate you tuning in.